is not lost today. It is found.
Hey there guys, DeAndre Yates here, and real quick before I start this video, I just want to give a formal warning. This may turn into a rant video, okay? This may turn into a rant video. I just wanted to give a little warning. I tend to get very passionate about what I'm talking about, so much to the point to where it may seem like I'm ranting, okay guys? So this is not the type of video y'all want to watch. I'm not watching any videos, I'm not doing a reaction, I'm just giving my thoughts on Star Wars Battlefront, the game. If that's not the type of video y'all want to watch, by all means, these are just my thoughts, my opinions alone. That's what YouTube's for, right? We're supposed to give our opinions, so that's what this is. But if that's not the type of video you want to watch, by all means, click away. I'll give you a little chance right now. Okay, I'm starting the video. So with Star Wars Battlefront, guys, I went to the midnight release for that game. I went to the fucking midnight release at GameStop, and it was the very first time I had ever done a midnight release for a video game ever. That's right, it was my very first time. Now, as you can see, I am a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I've loved Star Wars for a long ass time. I love the Battlefront series. Now, the gameplay in those video games still hold value to today. I love those games, specifically Battlefront 2. That is the fucking shit. So obviously, as you can imagine, I was excited for this Star Wars Battlefront. I did little to no research on this game because I was waiting for this game to drop. That's why I pretty much only watched like the 2 trailers that came out for it and some gameplay videos of that. Other than that, I did no research until I read an article about a day before the release of the game. And it was an article about how there was no campaign in the game. Now, why would you release a video game that is in a notorious video game franchise that is very notorious for having great and compelling campaign and story modes? Now, I know they probably said that this is a remake and this is a reboot and this probably isn't officially connected to the past 2 Battlefront games, but still, why would you release a video game that has the words Star Wars on there? Star Wars is very notorious for having deep and compelling storylines. Why would you release a video game that has none of that? Now, I will mention some pros about this game. You can fly the Millennium Falcon, you can fly TIE Fighters, you can drive speeder bikes, you can fly air speeders, you can roam on Hoth, and you can roam on Tatooine, and you can do survival and all that shit like that. But 95% of the things that I just mentioned is only on fucking line. Now, why the fuck can I not fly TIE Fighters offline? Why can't I do it with the Millennium Falcon? Why can't I do it with speeder bikes? Why can't I play any of these things offline? You see, it honestly feels like they focused on what Jeremy Jahn called it in his video, the byproduct of the game versus the core content of the game. Now, I'm pretty sure when you pre-ordered the game, they gave you some codes for, I think it was like the Battle of Jakku, and they gave you some other DLC codes probably. But the DLC for this game, for the most part, costed $50 fucking dollars. That is on top of a $60 game. $110? Are you fucking serious? $110 for this fucking Star Wars Battlefront game that doesn't even have a story mode to keep me compelled to keep the game? Now, there was a time when video games were released in all of their entirety, you know what I mean? That you would buy the fucking disc of the video game and you would get everything that that video game had to show and offer through unlockables. Like Mortal Kombat, for instance, guys. Do you remember the Mortal Kombat PlayStation 2 days? Like Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. That's when NetherRealm was still Midway. They released their games in the fucking entirety, guys. Everything that that game had to offer was on that fucking disc, and I loved that shit. It was like they actually wanted you to play the fucking game in its entirety. They wanted you to stay playing that game, and guess what? You did. You fucking played the shit out of the game. Now, out of all those games that I mentioned, Mortal Kombat Armageddon was my favorite out of all of them. I loved that shit. The story mode in there was fucking awesome. The music was awesome. When you played as Taven and you had to take down your brother Dagon, it was so fucking dramatic. The story was compelling. You see how worked up I'm getting about this, guys? Do you see the kind of effect that story had on me as a gamer? I love the shit out of that game. That game still has value. I still think the graphics in that game are fucking amazing. If I still had that game and if I still had a PlayStation 2, I would play the shit out of it. But the reason why I love those games is because everything the games had to offer was in unlockable format, through the crypt, through playing the story, through doing fights on split screen and everything. Motor combat, it was like Mario Kart but in Mortal Kombat form. It's like they actually wanted you to play everything the game had to offer. It reminds me of a time when video game developers actually wanted you to play their fucking games longer than 2 hours, guys. Honestly, this new Battlefront game, I played for like 45 minutes and I'm just like, I guess we could pop in Metal Gear Solid 5 or something. You know what I mean? There's nothing there that's gripping me to the game. I mean, the online multiplayer is fun, but I mean, you don't really do anything on there. It's just a bunch of death matches. Now, this is not just with EA. I mean, video games have been doing this for the past few years, towards the end of PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it doesn't work. Why? Because there's nothing there. There's no core content of the game that keeps you there. And any of the content that they release as DLC, you feel like it should be as the main aspect of the game. Honestly, I just want to ask EA something, alright? See, I told you guys I'm getting worked up, bro. I mean, it seems like nowadays you all just focus on the multiplayer aspect of the video games, you know what I mean? You don't focus on the core content of the games anymore. You remember Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Carbon? You remember those two games? I'm not talking about the new Most Wanted. I'm talking about, like, the 2005 Most Wanted. I think that's when it came out. I'm not sure. But do you remember that game? That shit was the bomb diggity. I'm telling you, man. That shit was awesome as hell. When you get into a car chase, the car chases lasted like 30 to 45 minutes, man. That shit was awesome. The music was intense. The races, you have to build your car up again after getting it stolen. You gotta work your way up the blacklist. Storylines like that, that shit was so much fun. It was like I was playing Fast and Furious in a video game, though. Now, I remember reading this article that DICE had released something about how cannot speak right now because I'm so intense about this. It was a reason why they didn't put a campaign in the game was because gamers weren't playing that. The data pointed to that they were playing online more than a campaign / story mode themselves. Now, I would buy that for maybe Call of Duty and Battlefield, but guess what, guys? Y'all are doing Star Wars. Star Wars. Star Wars is notorious for having deep and compelling storylines. Why would you make a video game that has none of that? You know what this game reminds me of? And this is going to be a sad-ass comparison, guys. This game reminds me of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Fuck! It's like you all made trailers, you all made promises, and then the game comes out, and then we're just like, oh, this is it? I guess it's okay. No. I know there's an alternate universe out there right now where Star Wars Battlefront was released, and it was just like the greatest fucking thing that happened to Star Wars since fucking Chewbacca, alright? It's just the greatest thing of all time. And then we got this universe, and it's just like, I mean, it's a good game, you know what I mean? It has good graphics. Now, I'm gonna honestly say, while I have y'all's attention, a video game developer that I feel would do a fantastic job on this fucking game, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to fucking say this. If Naughty Dog did a fucking Star Wars game, oh my god, guys. I'm talking about the people that did Uncharted. If they did Star Wars Battlefront, do you realize what would fucking happen to the world? We would die, alright? Every Star Wars fan, every gamer in the world would die if Naughty Dog did a Star Wars Battlefront game. Oh my god. The storylines they would create. Oh, the graphics. Are you serious? Oh man, come on guys. Please, come on. Just like, there's so many opportunities with Star Wars too, man. It's not hard to do a Star Wars storyline for a Battlefront game. It's not. Maybe you follow the soldier into battle. Maybe we see what war is like in his mind. Maybe he goes AWOL. Maybe we have a rebel soldier that decides to join the fucking clone troopers because he doesn't agree with what the rebels are doing. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe the galactic Imperial soldier joins the fucking rebels. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Shit that makes you think. Shit that makes you think about war in our world. And you're just like, fuck, man. Is there really a good guy? Is there really a bad guy? Is it only sides? You know what I mean? It's that type of shit that makes you think like Metal Gear Solid. You know what I mean? Metal Gear Solid really gets to you. It's just like, fuck, man. There's no good guy. There's no bad guy. They're just normal people on different opposing sides. Oh, man. If they did that shit with Jedis, oh my god. Naughty Dog for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Make that a fucking hashtag. That shit would be awesome if Naughty Dog did Battlefront. Oh my god. If Naughty Dog, the people that did Uncharted, did Battlefront. Do you know, man, that shit would be intense, guys. Everybody's voiced by Nolan North and Troy Baker. I don't care. That shit would be awesome. I'm geeking out. I don't give a fuck. That shit would be awesome, right? That shit would be awesome. You cannot tell me that would not be fucking cool. Alright, so before I go, guys, the reason why I feel games have to stop coming out the way they have been coming out in the past is because you're going to get gamers and consumers pissed off. You know what they're going to do? They're going to band together and create their own video game company and start creating the video games that they want to create. And I know what you're thinking, EA and DICE. Oh, we can just release cease and desist letters everywhere and people will just stop that way. Well, what happens when you get that one motherfucker that gets that cease and desist letter and they say, fuck it, and they keep making that video game? You know there was supposed to be a fan-created Metal Gear game that was supposed to come out, I think, either later this year or earlier next year. It was a fan-created Metal Gear game, not from Konami, but from a third fucking party. That shit was gonna be awesome as fuck. There's a trailer for it on YouTube. Look for it right now. It looks awesome. Konami shut them down. They said stop making this game. David Hayter was supposed to be involved with it. Paul Eiding was rumored to be involved with it as well. That shit would have been so cool! Fuck! But anyways, as I was saying before, people are going to create their own video game development company, start releasing the games that they want, and then they're going to say, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say that, but that's what people are going to start doing, man. You really do have to listen to the gamers. Listen to what they want. We are the ones that hold the power to this. And right now, I feel like, as Jeremy Jahn said in his fucking video, if you like what I'm saying here, by the way, guys, I'll put a link to his video. You should watch his video as well. Trust me, he covers these points better than I do, so you can watch his video. But video games are focusing more on the byproduct now versus the actual game. You know what I mean? It's like they're reversed. They're all reversed. Honestly, I agree with what Jeremy said. He inspired me to do this video. When I bought Star Wars Battlefront and I put it in for my PlayStation for the first time and I played that game, it just, I didn't feel a connection to the video game. You know what I mean? Now I'm probably going to trade this shit in for Fallout 4 or Just Cause 3. Honestly, guys, that's probably what I'm going to do. Honestly, I'm not going to buy any DLC that this game releases for later in the future, because honestly that shit should have been, if it's a DLC, it should have been in the fucking game. That's how I feel, guys. I paid $60 for this. I'm not paying another $50 for the DLC. I'm sorry, that's just who I am. Now, if you all feel the same way about DLC, if you feel like it should be in the game before and not being released as a DLC, guess what? You're probably not wrong. You're probably right, guys. Who the fuck in their right mind wants to spend $60 for a video game? $50 on top of that. That's $110 fucking dollars. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. Now I'm talking to you as the gamer right now, man. I'm talking to you, the person that's watching this video. If you bought Star Wars Battlefront and if you feel like it just wasn't everything that, you know, the game should have to offer, if you feel like it was ridiculous to pay $50 on top of a $60 game, if you paid the PlayStation 4 bundle, oh my god, if you paid for all of that and you feel like it just wasn't what you expected it to be, do you feel like DLCs need to start going away? And do you agree with me that Naughty Dog needs to do Star Wars Battlefront 2? Or they just need to do a Star Wars Battlefront in general, guys. Come on, why can't we do that? I mean, they do the same thing with movie franchises, right? They switch directors out for Mission Impossible franchises. The same thing with the Fast and Furious franchises. Hell, with Star Wars. George Lucas directed Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3, right? He didn't direct all of the original trilogy Star Wars movies. J.J. Abrams is directing this first movie. He's not directing Star Wars Episode 8. You know what I mean? So why the fuck can we not do that with the video games? Naughty Dog, do Star Wars Battlefront 2. Tell me right now that shit would not be cool. Tell me that shit would not be fucking cool, man. Come on, please. Alright guys, I'm done. I've been talking for a long ass time. That was just my thoughts on Star Wars Battlefront. Jesus Christ, that was a long video, right? But as always, guys, if you like what I'm talking about, then be sure to like and share this video for me. And if you're going to do all that, now how about you leave a comment to tell me what I need to talk about or react to in the future, because I'm doing reaction requests. Yes, I do reaction videos. And if you're gonna do all that, now how about you hit that subscribe button and join the family, guys. But I'm out of here. I've been talking for a long ass time, so yeah, peace.